here in the future. Let's waste no time. Let's jump right into it. PFF grades, Week 13, Packers at the Detroit Lions, getting a huge win on Thanksgiving Day in front of that national audience. What a great victory that was. And let's just kind of see who balled out here in this game real quick. And again, this is according to PFF. I like to cross-check these. You guys know how I roll. I like to kind of take a look at these and then jump over to NFL Pro. We won't have time to do that this morning. We're going to be breaking down a tape today, and the plan is to have y'all chalk talk ready for tomorrow. We'll give you guys about 15 or 20 of the key plays from the Packers win over the Lions. So right off the bat, man, Dontavion Wicks, holy cow, 31 snaps. Played a good chunk of the snaps, right? With Matthew Golden out with the injury once again, Savion Williams out with the injury. And you can see how fired up Matt LaFleur was for Dontavion Wicks, dominating in this game. 91.7 was his PFF grade. He was in on 24 passing plays, and he was in on 7 running plays, it looks like. But again, 91.7 PFF grade for Dontavion Wicks. That, I believe, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I think that is his best performance of his entire career, if I remember correctly. You guys go fact check me on that. But again, Dontavion Wicks, don't look now. He's balling out. We'll show you where his season grade is when we get done with this quick little segment. Next, you got Jordan Love, number 2 spot. No surprise here. He was on fire against Detroit. I think he had 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Doing a great job, not only taking what the defense gave him, but also kind of making chicken salad out of chicken, you-know-what, right? Rolling backwards, fadeaway passes. I love how people love to make fun of Jordan Love and his fadeaway passes. They don't make fun of him when he hits on them, though, right? Just a dominant performance there. 91.2 is his PFF grade. Played 62 snaps there. I believe that was all 62 of the offensive snaps, obviously. He never came out of the game one time. You know the big thing I love about this Jordan Love performance? He slid. Right on the scramble, you can see he can still make things happen with his legs when he needs to. Now, he's looking to scramble to create a secondary window, right? That's what he's looking to do. But every now and again, he'll tuck that thing and run. And he's been notorious for, let me lower my shoulder and run through this freaking defender. Scares the heck out of me every time he does it. Now, when he gets the first down, he stands up and flexes on him. Love it, right? But when he separates his shoulder like he did a few weeks ago, hate it. And that's just that's the nature of the business, right? So again, love the fact that Jordan Love went out there in Detroit. He's now, he is so dominant on Thanksgiving Day. Like I said the other day, if I'm at policy, I'm going to the league and go, hey, go ahead and put us on the docket for Thanksgiving next year, please. And let's do it at Lambeau, rotate them. Gosh, it's so cool to see him. He balled out in Detroit 2 years ago, right, on Thanksgiving Day. He balled out at Lambeau against the Miami Dolphins last year, and then this year going back into Detroit. So just a great performance by Jordan Love. Emmanuel Wilson, only 12 snaps, but a 79.9 with a running grade of 78.6. E-Will continues to raise that grade. You're seeing more of Emmanuel Wilson of what you've seen last year. Now, you would look at the PFF grade early this season and think he's having a down year, but when you look at the overall touches, his touches were way down. Now, with Josh Jacobs getting a little banged up here lately, he's getting his opportunity. And boy, oh boy, is he taking advantage of it. Emmanuel Wilson playing absolutely lights out football right now. Really, what I love about E-Will is he's constantly taking what the defense gives him. Like it's like his peripheral vision is so good. He can recognize when there's something to be had on the outside and when there's not. And when there's not, he'll just tuck into those linemen and just keep those legs moving. And he'll turn what should be a 2-yard gain into a 6 or a 7-yard gain. Nothing flashy, just literally pushing the pile, rolling off of the pile, and just kind of keeping his legs moving forward. He's a good change of pace for Josh Jacobs. I don't know who's the faster back. We could go look at the RAS. And if you guys want to look it up and throw it in the comments, I greatly appreciate it. But the thing about Emmanuel Wilson and Josh Jacobs, it feels like they're built very similar. Like Josh Jacobs runs with power. If you had to classify, if you had to put them in a category, Josh Jacobs, is he a speed back or is he a power back? I would say power back. He doesn't have that top end speed. Let me turn this heater off. I am cooking. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. That's the professionalism you get here on this show. So would you think Josh Jacobs is a speed back or a power back? I would say a power back, probably a balanced back, more balanced, because when you hear power back, you think of someone who's not quick, who's not twitchy. They just kind of, push the pile type thing. So probably more of a balanced back, but I would put him more of power than a speed back, right? Same thing with Emmanuel Wilson, although I think Emmanuel Wilson, I think you would say he's balanced, but he's closer to a speed back maybe than a power back? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Because as I'm saying that, I think of Emmanuel Wilson running through that dude's face 2 weeks ago at the goal line, too, right? The Vikings, the defender linebacker, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, I'm with you. Holmes says Wilson's faster. Completely agree, man. And Holmes says Jacobs is a shifty power runner. That's the thing, too. When you say power back, you think, oh, he can't bounce around. Josh Jacobs is one of the best in the game at being able to hop a gap and bust that thing outside. You don't see him break away for the long touchdowns, right? But you see him break away enough to pick up a 20 or a 30-yard gain and run through a couple guys' faces along the way. So, again, Emmanuel Wilson having a great season. Next is Christian Watson in Detroit, 79.4. Guys, he's doing it every single week. Doesn't matter the opponent. Doesn't matter the level of defenders who are covering. It just seems like every single week we look up and go, Christian Watson had another great game. His hands are better. His route running's better. He's still got his speed, as we've seen in Detroit, with he and Jordan connected on that. What was that, 51-yard touchdown, I believe? That'll make Chalk Talk this week. Gave him a little stick nod, right? A little out and up, bang up the sideline, cooked the defender. You can't say enough about Christian Watson. Just continues to ball out. Zach Tom in the number 5 spot, 74. My man is just so freaking consistent every single week. Zach Tom is just playing steady football. 74.0 was his PFF grade. Pass blocking, no surprise, 82.0. Run blocking, 65.4. Zach Tom just, again, every single week seems like he's a top 5 offensive player. Now we got Josh Jacobs, 33 snaps. Guys, he was banged up. We've seen him get hurt in this game again, too. Took a nasty lick to the leg, if I remember correctly. 71.9, even when he's not fully healthy. Look at the pass blocking grade, 81.3, running grade of 70. So Josh Jacobs just playing steady. I love the fact that they mixed in a little bit more Emmanuel Wilson. You know, Josh Jacobs got 33 snaps. E. Will got 12. So you got to mix and match a little bit. Chris Brooks also got, it looks like, 18 snaps there as well. Probably some pass blocking situation, I would imagine. Sean Ryan, guys, hold the phones. Sean Ryan, 70.4. Now, listen, they've got a good interior defensive lineman. I'm trying to think of his name. Elam, is that his name? Aleem, I think it is. One of the better defensive tackles in the game. You had Aiden Hutchinson on the outside. So the fact that Sean Ryan graded out with a 70.4, and the beautiful thing about this, pass blocking 70.7, run blocking 69.1. So just steady across the board. Has Sean Ryan turned the corner? We'll find out, right? We'll know in due time. Now, listen, he's still got some bad snaps here or there. We know he's not a natural center. He's playing that position because Elton Jenkins got hurt. But, boy, is Sean Ryan available, and is he accountable? Like, I don't know, man. We need to keep an eye on him because that might be one that the Packers may surprise us and give a little bit of a contract extension and get a really good price on. You know, we always talk about you're willing to overpay for great, never overpay for good. The ideal situation is overpay for great, underpay for good. The teams that can underpay for good for 70% of their roster, those are typically the best rosters in football. And sometimes that comes with guys that haven't like completely flashed or shown a whole lot of talent and ability on a consistent basis that you can recognize, okay, we can work with that. We can make him a better football player. He's ascending right now. I think we would all agree Sean Ryan is ascending at the moment, right? I don't think he's going backwards. And you guys know how I feel. Like nobody's ever staying the same. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. If you had to classify him, put him into one of two categories, is Sean Ryan getting better or getting worse? I think I would say he's getting better, right? So again, Sean Ryan with a great game there. Luke Musgrave, 66.8. And I know people like to cherry pick the reps and show an embarrassing run blocking. That's not what he is. I don't even know why we continue to try to point out that Musgrave can't block. It would be like pointing out a receiver can't block, right? Like, again, you're not seeing him attached as much as you have in the past. I think they've recognized we need to flex him out a little bit. That crosser, again, you can attach him and run crossers from underneath, right? And I can't wait to break that play down on Chalk Talk because that was a great play by Jordan and Luke Musgrave. But 66.8, man, that's it. That's pointing in the right direction. Rasheed Walker, 60.5. Chris Brooks, 60.3. John Fitzpatrick, 60.0. And then as far as the guys who played bad, you know, people were bragging on Anthony Belton and everything. Again, I don't think Anthony Belton's playing bad football. I don't think it warrants this 37.7 PFF grade. However, when I turn on the tape, I don't see this superstar that some people are saying, man, that's what's changing the offensive line. I think he's doing his job, and that's great, right? He's definitely playing right guard. I don't know if I would say he's playing it better than Jordan Morgan, who is, like we said, natural left tackle. He played left tackle his whole life. But I think they are neck and neck there. And if you get a bigger, more powerful version of Jordan Morgan playing right guard and Anthony Belton, like more of a mauler, I think it makes sense to play him there. And for God's sakes, can we just go ahead and kick Jordan Morgan over to left tackle and let him practice there every week? Let him get ready to take over left tackle next year if Rasheed Walker hits free agency like we think. So let's shift gears now and let's actually dive into how these players are looking on the season on the offensive side of the ball before we switch gears over to defense. So here we go. Here's everyone's PFF grade updated for the regular and postseason. Obviously, no postseason yet for 2025. Jaden Reed's still leading the way to 89.9. Is anybody else excited about getting Jaden Reed back? I mean, this dude, I don't think people understand how good Jaden Reed has been. He's led the Packers in receiving the last 2 years, and his PFF grade would suggest he was the number one wide receiver as well the last 2 years, if I remember correctly. Maybe his first year he didn't grade out the highest. Last year he graded out as the highest, if I remember right. But 89.9 on only 23 reps. If he comes back and he grades out in the 70s, and you got Dontavion Wicks who's ascending right now, you got Christian Watson playing as good a football as he's ever played in his career, and then you get Matthew Golden healthy, and we've seen Savion Williams even on one leg go up and moss the dude in New York to make that crucial catch on a 3rd and long. This receiving core is really setting up to be nice. We didn't even mention Romeo Doubs, who might be the better one of if not the best receivers on this team. It's just it doesn't look like he's probably going to be here for the long haul. Maybe they'll surprise us with that. But man, Jaden Reed, really excited to get him back. And again, that's a minute amount of snaps, so we want to kind of take that with a grain of salt. But Jordan Love on the year, guys, 87.3, grading out as the second best quarterback in the league in terms of passer grade with an 89. We did the Jordan Love versus Caleb Williams comp the other day, the video on that. You guys make sure you go check it out. You can just scroll down and we've got it in video form and the live stream form. That was a fun video to do because the way that some of these national pundits were talking about Caleb Williams is like, man, it sounds like they think he's just as good as Jordan Love. And then you go and dig into the numbers, you dig into the tape and you go, what the hell are they talking about? It's not even close. Jordan Love is playing like a top 5 quarterback. Caleb Williams is playing like somewhere in the 15 to 20 range. And that's including Caleb Williams' ability to scramble. If you removed his ability to scramble, you're talking about a guy who's probably down around 20 or 25 in the league. So again, just go check the video out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments there. Christian Watson, don't look now, 84.6. He's grading out like a top 10 wide receiver now on the season. Zach Tom, 82.5, steady 80, money well spent. That dude is just he's lights out. He's so consistent. And look at the consistency across the board. Pass block grade 79.9, run block grade 79.1. Malik Willis. I made a comment the other day. Bears fans got really mad. I was like, imagine if you had Malik Willis as your quarterback. I'm in it, guys. I'm in it. This is the Malik Willis with good coaching. This is Malik Willis with a quarterback guru in Matt LaFleur. And I'm being completely honest, guys. Think of how Malik Willis has played for us. He has not lost a game yet, right, as a quarterback, whether it's starting or filling in for Jordan or having to come in the middle of the game because Jordan got banged up. He's grading out high. His passer rating is through the freaking roof. He did it again in New York, came in on a drive, busted off a couple runs, threw a touchdown pass, and he's back on the bench holding the clipboard, helping Jordan being his personal assistant, essentially. It scares me to think of what the Chicago Bears could be if they had a good quarterback. The reality is Caleb Williams is holding the Bears back right now. He's literally his passing ability or lack thereof is holding the Bears back from being an elite team right now. That and their defense are the two big things that stick out to me. And I know the argument is, yeah, but look what he does in the fourth quarter scrambling. I got you. Is he a running back or is he a quarterback? Because his completion percentage is cheeks. And if you think, okay, well, the receivers drop the passes a lot. Look at his adjusted completion percentage ranks lower than just his completion percentage. So you can throw that excuse out the window. If they had a quarterback, if they had Jared Goff in Chicago right now, Chicago, I would be thinking they're probably a top 2 or a top 3 team. Caleb Williams being their quarterback is the only thing that's keeping me from saying, man, they're legit. That and the fact that their defense has struggled so bad. Their turnover differential is good. That is one thing Caleb does well. He typically protects the ball well, but you've seen in this last game, he threw an interception, right? He's real bad about throwing the football right into the hands of the defensive line or throwing it into their face mask. We've seen that time and time again with Caleb Williams. But anyway, I digress. Malik Willis, 13 snaps, another 82.2 performance here. for Malik Willis on the season this is, okay? So last year, he had significantly more snaps. Hopefully, we don't see him for the rest of the year because obviously Jordan Love is Jordan Love. But Malik Willis is one of those dudes that, like, again, this is an example of what happens when you get good coaching. Tennessee, 51-45. He comes to Green Bay, 217 snaps, guys. This wasn't 30 snaps. This wasn't, 50 snaps. 217 snaps, 70.3. And then this year, of course, only 13 snaps, but an 82.2. So Malik Willis continuing right where he left off last year. I'm just so glad he's the backup in Green Bay. Josh Jacobs on the year, 82.1. Tucker Kraft, of course, breaks my heart to see it, but he was on a hell of a run here in 2025 of 78.1. Darian Kennard, 168 snaps. He's playing that extra tight end position, what we call Y70, right? 74.5 on the year. It's nice to have him kind of waiting in the wings if you need another offensive lineman. So when you think about it, if Anthony Belton's starting at right guard, you go from left to right. Rasheed Walker, Aaron Banks. You've got Sean Ryan, who's playing some of his best football at least this last game, maybe the last two games. Anthony Belton at right guard. Zach Tom at right tackle. Zach Tom will be an all-pro, or he should be in the conversation as an all-pro. You don't even worry about the right tackle position. He's great. Now think of who you've got at backup. You've got Jordan Morgan, your former first-round pick, who I think should be the primary backup on the left side. And you got Darian Kennard, who could play the backup on the right. Now, the problem is if you put Kennard in, let's say Belton goes down with an injury and they decide to put Kennard in at right guard. Now you're losing that Y70 approach. That's why they continue to put Jordan Morgan in at right guard so they can keep Darian Kennard freed up to play that extra tight end position. I agree with that, by the way. I'm just saying it's nice to know you've got a couple of guys there who've seen significant snaps as starters to be able to come in and play in a backup role for sure. Dontavion Wicks, don't look now, 72.7. I think he's grading out as the 27th best receiver in the league. Guys, that's a starting number one caliber wide receiver. I'm not saying he's a number one that takes the top off. I'm not saying he's a number one that warrants bracket coverage. I'm simply saying there's 32 teams, and he's grading out as one of the best 32, one of the top 32 wide receivers in the league right now. He seems to have fixed the hands issue. He's out there running routes, catching passes. Moss and Brian Branch with one shoe. This dude's playing with his hair on fire right now. You could tell last year they wanted him. And I think this is my personal opinion. I have no sources to back this up. I think why Romeo Doubs got mad last year is he started noticing Dontavion Wicks getting some of the reps there. So they love Christian Watson. They love Jaden Reed. They want Dontavion Wicks, I think, to be that boundary X receiver. He doesn't have top end speed. He's not going to take the top off the defense. But he's got the route running ability. He's got better route running ability than Romeo Doubs. But Romeo Doubs has had the better hands up to this point. Wicks's hands have taken a huge step this year. So if Wicks continues to step in the same direction there, move in the same direction, if Romeo leaves in free agency, I think what they're going to be looking to do is potentially have Matthew Golden play the X, right? Jaden Reed play the F or the slot. Christian Watson play the Z, the speed Z, field side wide receiver. And then you've got Wicks, who, guess what? He can play F. He can play X. He's not perfect for Z on the field side, although they put him there. What you've got is four receivers that can play all three positions. That's an exciting place to be. All right. Chris Brooks, 69.8, 119 snaps, great year. Romeo Doubs having a solid year, guys. 67.1. He's been available, 615 snaps. Matthew Golden, 67.0 on 327 snaps. So, you know what we always say, a rookie player grades in the 60s or higher, he's going to be a good football player. Everything checks the box for Matthew Golden. He just needs the targets, and I'm not saying they should over-target him. What I'm simply saying is with Matthew Golden, he needs to be on the field to get the ball. And when he's on the field, don't try to go, we're forcing him the ball. I love the fact that Matt LaFleur doesn't do that. And he does this, la, 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 to the critics who don't like that. Don't try to force the ball to one person. Run your scheme. And if you truly have 4 or 5 guys that can play every position there, then the sky's the limit, man. Mike Witt with the super chat. Thank you, Mike. With us playing so much 6 offensive linemen, I'm waiting for Matt to call a tackle eligible pass on the goal line. So oh my gosh, Darian Kennard for a touchdown. Can't wait to see that dance, right? Can't wait to see that end zone celebration. I think you're spot on there, Mike. It's coming, dude. It is coming. So, again, those are some of the players that are balling out. I wanted to try to identify 5 players that are balling out on each side of the ball. Jaden Reed, minimal snaps, throw it out the window. Jordan Love, balling out. Christian Watson, balling out. Zach Tom, balling out. Malik Willis, minimal snaps. Josh Jacobs, balling out. Tucker Kraft, as Romeo Dobbs says, he's in a better place. That was hilarious what he said. But Tucker Kraft will be back stronger, better than ever next year, just like Christian Watson. Doesn't this give you guys hope that how the Packers have handled Christian Watson's ACL? He's come back just as good, if not actually better than he was before. Expect that from Tucker Kraft. ACLs don't worry me anymore, other than the fact that you're done for the season, and that sucks. Darian Kennard playing good football. Dontavion Wicks playing good football. That's how it looks on offense. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. If you're watching this video back later, let me know what you think about the offensive players who are performing the best in the 2025 season and what they've done here recently, more specifically against the Detroit Lions. Let us know in the comments. Is there a player we missed? Is there one of those players that you disagree with? We want to hear from you. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future.